Hello everybody and welcome back to another C++ programming video. Now today we are going to be doing a programming exercise number 5. Now programming exercise number 5 says, write a program that can be used to calculate the federal tax. The tax is as follows. For single people, the standard exemption is $4,000. For married people, the standard exemption is $7,000. A person can also put up to 6% of his or her gross income in a pension plan. The tax rates are as follows. Between 0 and $15,000, the tax rate is 15%. Between $15,001 and $40,000, the tax rate is $2,250 plus 25% of the taxable income over $15,000. Over 40%, the tax is $8,000, $8,460 plus 35% of the taxable income over $40,000. Prompt the user to enter the following information. Marital status. If the marital status is married, ask for the number of children under the age of 14. Gross salary. If the marital status is married and both spouses have income, enter the combined salary. Percentage of gross income contributed to a pension fund. And your program must consist of the following functions. Get data, which obviously gets the data. Tax amount. It computes and returns the amount of tax that you owe. And now to calculate the taxable income, subtract the sum of the standard exemption, the amount contributed to a pension plan, and the personal exemption, which is $1,500 per person. Note that if a married couple has 2 children under the age of 14, then the personal exemption is 1,500 times 4, which is equal to 6,000. Now the first thing that we need to do, since we are going to be including and using some very high decimal numbers, is we're going to need the IO-man-IP header file. Now we need to calculate a couple of, write in a couple of named constants at the top right here. Constant double married deduction is equal to 7,000 constant double single deduction 4,000 and now this will be 1,500, and this right here will be the personal After declaring these named constants right here, we can move on, right, and go to the next couple lines, and start on the functions that they said. So first we're going to start with get data. Now get data pretty much just gives the data. So here we're going to write in char and M status, stands for marital status, comma, int, and number of children, comma, double, and salary, comma, double, and P contributed to the pension, semicolon. And then after, you need to write in double tax amount. Now here we're gonna write in char. Now pretty much all we need to do is we can just copy and paste everything that's right there. And here, except we just need to delete all of these ands because they're not going to be reference variables. And then we just write in a semicolon at the end. So here we're just, it's pretty simple. We're just writing in all of the factors needed to calculate the income tax, or like the tax in general for that person. So now we can come down here into the main function and get started. Now here we're actually going to start with the main function, as it is actually the simplest part. Now there's many ways to approach problems, right? But there's many ways to approach programs. And in my opinion, the best way to approach a program is to start with the simpler parts first and move up to the more complex parts. Sometimes it may be a better idea to do the other way around, where you start with the complex parts first and go with the simple parts next. But in my opinion, I think it's going to be a bit easier to start with the simple parts and go with the complex parts. So here I'm just going to start by declaring off some variables. I'm going to write in char marital status int number of children, double gross salary, and double contributed to pension. Now, after we write down all of our named variables, we need to enter and write in cout fixed show point set precision 2. After we write in set precision 2, we can move on and write in get data, marital status, comma, number of children, comma, gross salary, comma, P contributed to pension, semicolon. After that, and also right here, we're going to have to add in endo. And then we enter cout your tax for the year is tax amount. We copy and paste what's in here. And now you can see that that's pretty much actually the end of the main function. There's nothing else left to do. Now you can see that the most complicated part of this program is actually the two functions that it makes up, the two functions that it uses. So first what we need to do is we need to write in void get data, and now we're just going to copy and paste what's up here. There we go, and then we can cout enter marital status M or M, married, comma, S or X, single. And then we can CIN M status, get the value for that, and then we cout endo. And now if the marital status is equal to M or M status is equal to M, then we can cout enter number of children under the age of 14. And we CIN number of children, cout endo. Now you can see here that we actually have to take in the value of the number of children because we get a little bit less tax depending on whether or not on how many children that we have. And also we have to talk about the marriage, right? We need to talk about the marriage because you get 7,000 $7,000 in tax exemptions if you are married, and only $4,000 if you are single. And now we can jump to the end right there. See out. Enter the gross salary for the year. CIN, salary, C out, and O. And then we can see out, enter, percentage of salary contributed to pension 0 to 6%. And then we CIN, percentage contributed to pension, C out, and L. After we are done with that, we are now able to work on the part where we calculate our tax. Now keep in mind that this part shouldn't be very complicated to most, because it's really just taking in input and using reference variables and returning it, and we could use it in the next function. Now the next function may be a bit complicated for some, but it shouldn't be too difficult to understand. Okay. So first we need to start off by creating some variables. One is going to be double, and this is going to be the taxable amount. Double S duck S deduction and then double tax. And then we can write in integer number of deduction semicolon. After writing that, we can write in if M status is equal to M status. No, that's not right. Or M status is equal to capital M we write in number of deduction is equal to 2 plus number of children, semicolon. Now S deduction is equal to married deduction. Now you see what we're doing here is we're actually calculating what we can't tax, and then we're going to subtract that from the main salary, which we will then get what we cannot tax, and from there we can have what we can tax, right? We tax it from that amount, and then we can get our total tax for the year. Oh, and after this, we need to write in else. This is for single people, or people that are single. Else, number of deduction is equal to 1. And S deduction is equal to single deduction. Then we can come down and write in taxable amount is equal to salary minus S deduction and from there we also subtract personal exception times number of deduction minus salary times P times the percent contributed divided by 100. So now I'm going to take a step back and explain this one more time. So here we calculate the deduction from the marriage, right? We calculate the deduction from the marriage. Hopefully you understand what I mean. Because you have 2 plus the number of children under 14. And then you have the S deduction, which is equal to the married deduction. This is right here. This is the deduction that is related to the number of children you have. This is just a flat line for the deduction. If you come up here, we will see the named constant for it, which is 7,000. Anyways, from there, if this is not true and you are in fact single, then the number of deductions you have is 1, and your S deduction is just a single deduction, which is 4,000, which is just the flat out rate. Now the taxable amount is now equal to your salary minus your whatever your deduction is, whatever your constant deduction is, minus your personal exception. Keep in mind everything is minus in this case. Minus the personal exception times the number of deductions. This times this. In this case, the personal exception is actually 1,500 times the number of deductions minus the salary times the amount times the percentage contributed to a pension fund divided by 100. So, yeah, we have right there, we have the taxable amount. And now the last thing we need to do is actually calculate the total tax that you have. And now, if the taxable amount is less than 0, then the taxable amount is equal to 0 because we are unable to have negative taxable amounts. That would sort of mean that if you taxed them that you would have to give them money. Well, I don't know, but you just can't have negative numbers. It's pretty simple. And now, if the taxable amount, actually hold on, if 0 is less than and equal to taxable amount, and the taxable amount is less than or equal to 1,500, actually I'm sorry, 15,000, then the tax is equal to taxable amount times 0.15. Else, if 1,500, unless 15,001 is less than or equal to taxable amount, and the taxable amount is less than or equal to 40,000. Oh, sorry, this is 400,000. Oops. Then the tax is equal to 2,200 and 250 plus taxable amount minus 15,000 times 0.25. Else, the tax is equal to 8,460 plus taxable amount minus 40,000 times 0.35. And then once we are done, we return the tax. Now I'm just going to take a step back and look at a whole what's up here. Now, as it said in the programming problem, if the taxable income is between 0 and 15,000, then the tax rate is 15%. If the taxable income is between 15,000 and 40,000, then the tax is 2,250 plus 25 of the taxable income over 15,000. And over 40,000, the tax is 8,460 plus 35% of the taxable income for over $40,000 in taxable income. Just so you know. That means that in words, this is the equivalent of what it is. So we have if the taxable income is between 0 and 15,000, then the taxable amount is the tax is equal to the taxable amount times 0.15. Else if 15,001 is else if the taxable income is between 15,001 and 40,000, then the taxable amount is equal to, then the tax is equal to 2,250 plus the taxable amount minus 15,000 times 0.25. And if these two don't apply, then the tax is just equal to 8,460 plus the taxable amount minus 40,000 times 0.35. Now we can run the program and hopefully it runs without any errors. Oh, right here I accidentally did that. Just gonna take that out. There we go. Let's try running it again. And it works. So let's say that I am married, or let's say I'm single, and my gross salary is 100K. 100K, right? Yeah, okay. The percentage salary is 6%, and my tax for the year is 25,435. Wow. Right here, I'm going to write in, I am married, and actually, and 2 of them are under the age of 14. The gross salary is also 100,000. Let's say 4%, and my tax for the year is 23,510. Now, you see here, that's pretty much it, really, for this program. I hope you guys had a great time doing this program. Now, you need to keep in mind this is a fairly complicated program compared to most we've done before. And the best way to understand this program, if you do not understand it quite yet, is to take your time, take a step back, breathe, and look at what this program is trying to tell you. Now, I hope you all had a great time coding with me, and I hope you will have a great time coding by yourself, and I just hope you guys have fun. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.